Welcome back to the deep dive. So what we do here is pretty simple. We take all this information floating around, articles, social media posts, insider notes, and we try to give you the strategic shortcut to understanding these huge cultural moments.
And today, we are really dissecting one single explosive moment. It's from November 8th, 2025.
Right. And this wasn't just some minor controversy. This event really exposed a fundamental crack in the very carefully managed public image of influencer Alix Earle.
Yeah, that date, November 8th, that's when the line between a private family fight and a public career crisis just completely vanished.
And the source of the leak, this is the wild part, it was a TikTok posted from inside Alix Earle's own home.
By her stepmother, Ashley Dupre. And this wasn't like a PR stunt gone wrong. This was a genuine, unfiltered, and totally unwanted look into that family dynamic.
What's so unique here, though, is that the toxic energy wasn't coming from Alix herself. I mean, she was the whole reason people were watching because of her run on Dancing with the Stars.
Exactly. The insult was aimed outward at one of the judges.
But because it came from inside her house, Alix was instantly dragged into this major body-shaming scandal. Reluctantly, I'd say.
Well, it's a perfect case study in what you could call adjacent liability. It just shows how fragile a curated personal brand really is.
Especially a brand like Alix Earle's, which is all about relatability.
Right, because you have family members who aren't, financially invested in that brand, but they have the same broadcasting power as anyone else with a phone.
Yeah.
And the fallout is immediate. It's costly.
Even if they aren't technically on the payroll.
Exactly.
And that idea, the liability of the periphery, that is exactly what we need to unpack. So for this deep dive, our goal is to analyze the specific insult, detail the surprisingly effective response from the target, and then figure out what the insider notes tell us about the real damage.
Both to her family and, her brand.
Okay, so let's start at the source. It's early November. Alix is on Dancing with the Stars. The family's all gathered around watching. What exactly was in that defining, quickly deleted video?
So Dupre was reacting, and you can tell it's very emotional, to one specific judging moment.
Okay.
The camera is on guest judge Cheryl Burke. She's holding up her score paddle. She's giving a critique of Alix's dance. And instead of engaging with professional analysis, Dupre just goes straight for a personal attack.
And it was a really nasty comment. Instantly recognizable as just digital cruelty.
Oh, yeah. She just says, oh, go take more Ozempic.
Wow.
And that phrase, go take more Ozempic, is so incredibly loaded in 2025.
It's not just a comment about weight.
No, not at all. It's a very specific, targeted kind of slur that taps into this whole cultural debate around pharmaceutical weight loss aids. It's meant to imply someone is artificial, vain.
It's basically designed to shame them as much as possible. It's like the nuclear option for an insult about appearance.
It is. And what made it all escalate so quickly, according to the sources we have, is that she got a chance to immediately walk it back, and she didn't. She doubled down.
Right. That's the part that's so shocking.
That's the critical moment. We know from the source material, one of her kids, clearly confused, repeats the line. And instead of saying, oh, honey, that was just a silly joke, Dupre just reinforces it. She says, what? She looks weird. She doesn't even look like her.
And the public, especially Alix's massive audience, saw that interaction as just a teaching moment gone horribly wrong.
Yes. It wasn't just an adult being cruel. It was cruelty being modeled for the next generation.
All broadcast from the home of one of the biggest stars on the internet.
And the outrage wasn't only because of the body shaming, though that was, of course, central to it. It was the perceived recklessness of it all. The modeling of that behavior, that's what made everyone decide to archive and amplify the clip before it could be deleted.
Which created a huge ethical problem for Alix's brand sponsors, I'd imagine.
A major headache.
So this is where we shift from the incident itself to the strategic response, because the target, Cheryl Burke, she didn't just ignore it or, release some bland statement. She took complete control of the narrative.
Oh, it's a masterclass, a clinical execution of crisis communications.
So what did she do?
She released her own video, but she completely refused to play on Dupre's level. No name-calling, no defending her own appearance. Instead, she did a classic narrative pivot.
She elevated the conversation.
Totally. She called out the toxic mindset behind it all. She focused less on Ashley Dupre specifically and more on the broader danger of mocking someone's body.
And she brought the kids into it, right?
Exactly. She strategically used the fact that a child repeated the insult as her main weapon. Her message was crystal clear. My job is to critique dance. Your job is to model respect. She reminded everyone her critiques are about technique, footwork, professional standards. And she contrasted that with Dupre's deeply personal and unprofessional attack.
She just sees the moral high ground perfectly. If you analyze her video, she reframes the whole thing. The personal attack becomes irrelevant because she makes it about the real psychological harm that these kinds of casual insults cause.
And in doing that, she becomes a spokesperson against online toxicity, not just a victim of it.
So the strategy pays off.
Instantly. Her response was so measured, so ethical, it just created this firewall. Public support flooded in for her, and all that negative attention ricocheted right back onto Dupre. It was a complete narrative flip.
Burke defined the terms. This is about cruelty, not dance scores.
Precisely.
Okay, so that pivot saved her, but it made things way more complicated for Alix. Now we have to look at the damage control from Dupre's side and, more importantly, how Alix handled the fallout from what was, a huge family screw-up broadcast to millions.
Well, Dupre's apology, it followed the standard playbook, but it pretty much failed in its execution. She released a statement, claimed she acted out of emotion, said she usually tries to lift people up.
The classic non-apology apology.
It was very boilerplate, and an attempt to frame it as just a momentary lapse, not, a reflection of her character.
But that apology was basically dead on arrival because of the insider information that started leaking out almost immediately.
Right, and that's where this story gets deeper than just a press release. Sources close to Alix Earle didn't just confirm there was tension. They gave details. They said Alix felt humiliated and blindsided.
This was a major breach of trust.
A fundamental breach from someone inside her own family circle during the most high-profile project of her career.
But let's ask the critical question here. Why would insiders leak Alix's humiliation? If you're on her team, wouldn't you want to keep that family drama private?
I think leaking her humiliation serves a very necessary brand management function.
Okay.
Alix Earle's brand is built on authenticity, right? Relatability.
Yeah.
To protect that, she had to be seen as a victim of this toxicity, not someone who was okay with it through her silence.
So the sources were probably told to leak that she was furious.
Exactly. To make it clear to the public that she was betrayed and, crucially, that she stood completely separate from her stepmother's comment.
It's like a calculated leak, a way to create distance without having to publicly attack your own family.
That's it. It's the choreography of a crisis.
So what was Alix's public countermove?
It was subtle, but really effective. While all this chaos was happening internally, she stayed calm publicly. And then she posted a public thank you to Cheryl Burke.
Oh, that's smart.
Very smart. She specifically mentioned Burke's professional feedback on her dancing and said that the judge's input was valuable for her improvement.
So by doing that, she's accomplishing two things at once.
Right. First, she's endorsing professional critique over personal insults.
And second, she's distancing herself from the body shaming, signaling to everyone, fans, sponsors, that she stands with the target, not the person who made the insult.
Yeah, her actions showed that the betrayal was so deep that she had to publicly side with an outsider, a judge who would just critique her, over a member of her own family. The sources say that tension is still very real.
An apology on TikTok doesn't just erase that.
Not at all. The reputational damage is done.
So we connect this back to the bigger picture for you, the listener. This wasn't just some fleeting internet drama. It was a moment that really redefined the scrutiny on Alix Earle and highlighted the unique pressures she faces.
Absolutely. So we've confirmed the insult. We've analyzed how Cheryl Burke masterfully handled it, and we've established the reality of this internal family rift. The big question now is, what happens next? What are the real costs of this kind of brand contamination?
Because what this incident really revealed is a huge unmanaged liability in her life. The public now knows that this kind of poor judgment exists in her immediate orbit.
And that affects trust. It affects the decisions of future business partners.
Yeah.
It raises a really fascinating point about the future of influencer contracts, Will we start to see more aggressive NDAs or specific clauses for family members who are, adjacent to the spotlight?
When a private person can cause millions of dollars in damage to a celebrity brand with one 15-second video, the stakes are they're dramatically higher.
So do we think this controversy just kind of quietly fades away now that apologies are out there?
And now, is the opposite true? Is this exposure of Dupre's behavior about to permanently reshape Alix Earle's life, forcing her to fundamentally change who she shares her platform and her private life with?
The public has now seen the messy, uncontrolled side of things, and they might be looking for it in every family photo she posts from now on.
And that's the tension hanging over everything. This entire episode highlights the dangerous amplification that comes with social media. You have proximity to a celebrity, you combine it with the instant broadcasting power of a phone, and a private family opinion becomes a massive, career-defining public crisis.
It's a powerful and very modern lesson in digital life. I mean, the apology might be out there for everyone to see, but you have to consider the lasting nature of that digital damage. Once a reputation for cruelty is established within your inner circle, even if it's not your own, it just requires continuous, exhausting damage control.
So the ultimate thought we want to leave you with is this. This scandal basically confirms that in the digital age, a celebrity is often only as managed as their least managed family member. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.